As we all probably know by now that AncientGreymon is pretty crazy expensive for this format. But don't you guys worry, I actually got you all covered as we got a slightly more budget friendly option and build for all of you today. Hello Digimon players and fans, welcome back to another Digimon deck profile and in-depth building guide video. Red Hybrid and AncientGreymon is one of the most hyped decks of the BT7 format. We actually even did a video of a full deck profile with combo guides and everything you need to know to play that deck right at the beginning. So if you want to check that out, definitely take a look at that competitive build and definitely watch that video as well. But today, it's slightly different. We are on a budget, so the key focus will be switched to EmperorGreymon instead. This deck actually does surprisingly well. Even without AncientGreymon, it can really run very smoothly on its own as well. And it's very fun to play. That's really the most important thing. It has all the aggressive tools, just like AncientGreymon does, but it combos quite differently. And the playstyle and approach, you gotta switch your gears a little bit on how you want to do it. And don't you guys worry, because I got a very easy to understand and comprehensive guide of how to do the combos right after the deck profile as well. So definitely stick around. Now just before we get started, I want to ask you guys a quick question. Did you see this video in your recommended section? Well, if you didn't, that is because you're not subscribed yet. By subscribing and turning on that notification bell, you will know every time a new Digimon deck profile or video is out. We got lots more other decks to cover and content for this format, and we're heading towards the end, but you know, there's still a lot to cover, so definitely be sure to stay tuned. And I know a lot of you guys are really getting hyped for the BT8 format coming up real soon, so don't you guys worry, we definitely will be covering that as well. But with that out of the way, let's actually just go straight into the deck profile. Alright, like we always do, let's go with the Digi Eggs. We got 4 Capurumons and 1 Demi-Meramons right here. Capurumon simply gives your Digimon extra 1000 DP during your turn as long as you have a Tamer in play, which is always fantastic because this is Red Hybrid. We're always going to be having a Tamer. And then next we got Demi-Meramon of when attacking, if you attack a player, your Digimon gets extra 1000 DP. We honestly don't always have to maximize at 5 eggs, so if you guys prefer a bit more consistency with the Capurumon, you guys can actually only play 4 copies of the Capurumon as your egg, but it really just comes down to your own personal preference overall. But that will wrap up for the eggs. With the rookies, we definitely first have the 4 copies of the Flamemon from BT7. This one's just really crucial because it can search, it can grab you 1 Susanomon, 1 Hybrid, or 1 Takuya, which is really neat. And it also has a inheritable where if it is on deletion, you can play a Takuya from your hand without paying its memory cost, which is really nice. And you know, I really like this level 3 Flamemon in general because it has the versatility of giving you value when you're hard playing it, but also giving you decent value when you're digivolving it because it has both on play and inheritable effects generally. Speaking of Flamemons and searching, this one is actually the best one in my opinion. This one from BT4 because it searches you on the top 3 and it grabs you 2 things. It grabs you 1 Digimon with Hybrid and the other a Red Tamer. So being able to hit those 2 hits consistently is really crucial and really vital, which is why this one is definitely, I think, the better one because yeah, it gives you a lot of value when it's hard played. We still have more Flamemons to go. This one's the BT6 one. This one is basically the one that gives your inheritable of your hybrids and your 10 warriors piercing, which is really neat and really decent, really fantastic inheritable in general. And this one is the weaker one of all, but this one is the one that you want to focus digivolving on top of your eggs normally so that you can get your draws and building your stack that way. So but 4 is still really crucial because Flamemon. Now for the white rookies, we got the 3 Bokomons and 1 Nemon right here. Starting with Bokomon, we all know that this card is just incredibly vital for all hybrid decks. I think 3 is a really good number to play generally because first off, it gives you the searching, it searches 5, very similar to that other Flamemon. Giving you 2 hits consistently is really nice. And your turn, as well as giving you the combos to get into your hybrids for free, giving your 2 memory back, which is also really good because then you extend your combos, do more plays, which is why Bokomon at 3 is super crucial. And whereas Nemon, I like to have him as a one-off because Red doesn't have a lot of hybrids that they can utilize off of. So being able to recycle our Tamers and consistently every now and then is a pretty nice to have and can be very useful in certain situations. Moving into our level 4 hybrids, we of course have the 4 copies of the Burning Greymon from BT7, and we've also got 2 copies of the other Burning Greymon from BT4. Let's talk about the BT7 one first. This one can digivolve on top of your Tamer for a digivolve cost of 2, which is really good. And then also when digivolving, as long as you have a red hybrid or Takura underneath his sources, you can pop your opponent's Digimon that has 4000 DP or less, giving you a lot of advantage and removal. It's really good at getting rid of the memory blockers and the digivolving cost reduction blockers as well, but also getting rid of your opponent's Pokemon in this hybrid format is also really fantastic, and I just really like this card because it's just super useful. The other Burning Greymon, on the other hand, is you have to digivolve onto a Tamer for a cost of 3 instead. However, during your turn, you always get a consistent extra 3000 DP, making it 9k, which is pretty neat. And you can do a pretty cool, decent combos along with Takura when you play this card. It lets you swing over things, gives it a lot more power and stuff, but I'll talk more about it in detail when I get into combos later. But that's Burning Greymon right here. Then last, to wrap up, we got the 4 copies of the AVAULT from BT4. This one's the vanilla one. All you have to do is basically digivolve on top of Tamer for a cost of 2, and we just want to maximize our hybrid counts at this point, so this is why we need to play 4 of. Now to the level 5s. Our level 5s only has Automons and nothing else. So we have the 4 copies of Automon from BT7 right here, and then we got 1 copy of the BT4 Automon. Once again, let's talk about the BT7 one first because it does a lot of things. Just like any other level 5 hybrid in this format, you can digivolve, reduce its digivolution cost by 2 as long as you're digivolving on top of a Digimon that has a Tamer in its source. So effectively making it a 1 cost on top of your level 4 hybrids as long as a Tamer, which is really nice. When digivolving, it also gives, if there's a hybrid in its traits, this Digimon gets 4000 DP, making it a 12k DP Digimon for the turn. Really powerful, swing over things again if you need. If not, you can really safely swing into security with no problem at all. It also has a very nice inheritable because it gives your whole archetype, your whole deck built-in ADP, because as long as the Digimon has a hybrid or Tamer in its traits, it doesn't activate any security options that it attacks in. So it's very, very good to counter cards like Schwartz, Hammer Sparks, and so on, which is really nice. And then for the other Automon from BT4, it's also kind of like a really good mini boss Digimon boss monster of the deck. However, I only like to play a 1 of because I felt like when I was playing 2 and testing it, it felt kind of bricky and clunky because it's not always needed, because I always prefer going into the other Automon, which is the BT7 one instead. And drawing too many of the BT4 one kind of felt bad. So it comes in clutch though, because you have to digivolve for a cost of 3, but it has security plus 1. With 7k DP, it also has your turn. As long as its digivolution sources has a hybrid or a red Tamer, it gets extra 4000, making it a 11k double checking level 5, which is really, really good. Because 11k, you can easily safely swing into security in most cases in this current format, and you get a lot of value when you do play aggressively along with this card. So 1 of and the 4 of is a really good ratio I prefer. Now for the level 6s, we of course have only 4 copies of the EmperorGreymon. This one right here is the alt art, just in case you guys know. Once again, one of my favorite Digimon out here because of the artwork. It's just absolutely fantastic. Both the regular art and the alt art are just really, really cool. But what EmperorGreymon does, this is basically like your top end, your whole focus is sort of like basically building into this guy, but you have a lot of win conditions that don't heavily rely on him, which is why this deck is really fun and really, really good to play. But first off, he has Blitz, and basically allowing you to attack your opponent, even the memory gauge goes past them at least once. And then when this Digimon is blocked during your turn, you can unsuspend it and you gain 1 memory for each hybrid underneath this Digimon's sources, which is very, very nice because it pressures your opponent, and it's very good for making game-winning plays and even extending your combos, and really forces your opponent in very, very uncomfortable situations, especially when they do have a blocker. Although blockers are not as common, but it's very nice to play this card when they do have one, so they have to make very critical and important choices, because one wrong choice with them, you know, you can basically pop off again with your combos with EmperorGreymon. But yeah, that's basically what all EmperorGreymon does, but once again, fantastic card and I love it. Now to wrap up for the Digimon, we have 1 Susanomon for sort of like a tech choice again, and I kind of like this for clutch situations, especially when you're facing matchups where games tend to get a little bit grindy and longer. Susanomon does come in really great help, and just having the option to play him when you need to is just really, really fantastic, and giving that extra pressure if you need to. So that's it for all the Digimon. Let's now get into our Tamers. We have the 4 Takuyas and the 3 Tais. That's basically all our Tamers. Takuya is basically your bread and butter, your soul of the deck. You always want to see him as consistently and as quickly as possible, and if you can, play him as quickly as you can, because then you can start focusing on doing your hybrid combos eventually. But just like all Tamers, you get to play it from your security, and its main effect is that once per turn, you can basically stack 5 other Digimon with hybrids in your traits from your trash underneath this Tamer, so then you can digivolve into an EmperorGreymon as if Takuya was a level 5. You still pay the 4 cost to get into EmperorGreymon, but that does a really nice combo together with that card, and you stack up a lot of inheritables, and you can just make really awesome plays with it. Not only that, it also has a very nice inheritable where your turn that Digimon gains extra 2000 DP, and if it surpasses 10k or more DP, it gets security +1, giving you a lot of aggressiveness and power in this deck, which is really what it's all about. Now for Tai, you really need to play as many of this card as you can, but 3 is really the optimal number. 4 gets a little bit too bricky simply because you need to set your memory to 3, and Tai gives you that, and it's really crucial because without 3 memory, you can't pull off your combos. And also you do focus on building some of your stacks every now and then, whether it's with Takuya's effect or whether you're building in Raising. It really works well so that it gives you Digimon security +1, because if it has 4 or more sources underneath it, which is really nice. But yeah, that's basically it for the Tamers, and 7 is all we need. Now moving into the options, we have the 3 copies of Atomic Inferno. I kind of tested it with 4. I felt like it was way too bricky at times having 4, but 3 is really an optimal amount in my personal opinion, because this card is literally your aggressive all in or nothing type of option right here. Main, it gives your hybrid extra 3000 DP and security +1. And then also your turn, if that Digimon gets blocked, you get 3 memory back and gaining it, which is really nice, and it gives a lot of pressure. This is like sort of your one-shot combo card, and you got to be really careful when you use this card, because sometimes there is high risk, high rewards, but when you do get that high reward back with this card, you can instantly win the game and your opponent wouldn't even see it coming, which is really nice. And also, not to mention, it has a security effect where all your Digimon during the next turn will gain security +1, giving you that surprise element of being able to just check all your opponent's security very quickly. Next up, we need a bit of removal. So we got 2 Atomic Blasters right here. I just personally like Atomic Blasters the most, simply because it's very cheap cost to play, and it's the most versatile because you can pop stuff up to 8000 DP together. You can pop wide boards, which is especially good against blue hybrids in general, I think, and that being one of the best decks in the current format, I think Atomic Blaster is just a really good card. But if you guys prefer, you guys can definitely, swap it in for a Gaia Force or a Giga Destroyer, whichever type of removal you guys need, but we definitely have to have some sort of removal. Right here then, we got 1 copy of Red Memory Boost. I just really like searching in general. I like this tech card just to get more searches going on, but also giving the extra memory to make a little bit more plays, which I really like. And that's really the whole reason why we want to play 1 Red Memory Boost. And talking about memory, gaining memory and extending combos and extending plays for your turn, 1 Gravity Crush to round it up right here. Perfect for making game-winning plays, clutch plays when you need to. It's just that good of a card. And if you guys prefer, you can play 2 Gravity Crushes instead of 1 Gravity Crush plus 1 Red Memory Boost. Totally up to you guys. Totally play around and see what you guys were most familiar with. But yeah, that's it for the deck. So for Cydex, as some of you guys may know, that we recently got news with the Ultimate Cup new Cydex rules. Now for the new Cydex rules, instead of 10 cards from before in your sideboard, you're actually only allowed 5 cards now, which is very interesting, and I'm super looking forward to that. And yeah, what do you guys think about that announcement and that rule change? Is it going to be, permanent moving forward, or is it going to be just like temporarily? Who knows? But I will also leave a link in the description box down below so you guys can see that exact rule change right there for the Ultimate Cup specifically. But anyways, let's go into our side deck right here. We actually have the 3 copies of Gaussmon right here. Gaussmon is just an incredibly good card in this format, combating against any hybrids to stop the level 5s from reducing their cost. I kind of even want to put this in the main deck somehow, but there's really difficult to find room in there, and I'm not entirely sure what's the best way to put it in there. But if you guys have any good ideas or suggestions, let me know in the comments what you would actually take out from the main deck and put the 2 Gaussmons into the side deck. But I like to play 3, an extra 1, because it's just that good in this format. Now moving for more removal, I like to actually add 1 more Atomic Blaster, because the wide range removal of being able to pop multiple things across the board is just so good. And sometimes I feel like this card can completely change the momentum into your favor just by playing one of them, and with the 5 cost, it's just extremely valuable. But last but not least, for the last 5 card side deck I like to have is one Gaia Force. We don't have any top end removal, and top end removal is really crucial, which is why I want Gaia Force, but there's not a whole lot of top end Digimon decks at the current format, but when you do face them, it comes in handy because Gaia Force is still one of the best removal cards in the game. So that basically wraps up for the side deck. Alright guys, let's quickly go into some very quick combos. Let's start with the easy ones first. The easiest combo is, once again, you have Tai or just having 3 memory, but really important that you do need Takuya. So the first part, that is all you need is a Burning Greymon that can be Digivolved for 2, and then we have 1 Automon right here. And then you can basically quickly pull off like a double security check combo. So you basically Digivolve on top of your Burning Greymon onto Takuya, and then you gain 2, you pay the 2 memory right here, and you get to pop something that's 4000 DP or less, and then basically continue there. And then now you pay the 1 memory to go into your Burning Greymon to go into the Automon right here, and then basically Automon will gain the extra 4000 DP for the turn, making him 12, and then along with Takuya, he gains another 12, another 2000 DP, sorry, which brings him to 14,000 DP, and then you can basically swing in for 2 checks at 14,000 DP for the turn, which is really nice right here. The next combo right here is actually even easier than the first one. All you need is basically this Burning Greymon. That's all you need to do. So again, you need 3 memory, so you pay the 3 memory to Digivolve your Burning Greymon on top of your Takuya, and you go to 0, and then Burning Greymon during your turn gets 9 extra 3k, making him 9k, and along with Takuya he becomes basically 11k right here, and then that's basically just a 2 card combo, 11k, and then you can just quickly swing in for 2 checks, just like that. Very easy. Now for the final big play combo of Takuya going into EmperorGreymon, you actually don't really need a whole lot of memory. You can do this with just 1 memory if you wish, mainly because EmperorGreymon has the Blitz. But anyways, moving back into here, you will need to have Takuya, and the other condition you need to fulfill is having the 5 hybrids in your trash to basically go into it. So Takuya will come out, and then you basically stack your 5 hybrids. Ideally, you want to prioritize your hybrids that have inheritable underneath, and then you pay the 4 memory cost of whatever you're at to basically Digivolve into the EmperorGreymon right here. Now your EmperorGreymon will be at 12k DP with the extra 2k from Takuya, making him 14, and then also he will have security +1, so 2 checks with the built-in ADP with Automon, and then also you have Flame on Piercing, so if you swing over a Digimon, you can deal with those 2 security checks anyways as well, and then you have a on deletion, you can play a Takuya from your hand, which is okay, not too bad. But then yeah, your EmperorGreymon will have the Blitz, and then you can basically just swing in for 2 checks right there, which is really nice. Now to finally wrap up all the other combos, if you have Pokemon on the board, it definitely changes a lot of things and gives you a lot of even more plays and combos to go into, because it gives you a lot of value by doing so. But back to the simple combos of these guys right here. If you Digivolve into here, you basically get more memory, you basically be at 2 memory instead, and allowing you to play the option Atomic Inferno to go for those bigger even security checks and bigger plays. Whichever combo you decide to do right here, whether if it's this Burning Greymon or the other Burning Greymon with Automon combo right here, you will have a lot more memory and versatility, and you can do a lot more aggressive damage into your opponent, which is very nice. And then lastly, if you also do choose to go into the EmperorGreymon, Pokemon will also give you your 2 memory back for it, which is really fantastic. And yeah, that basically rounds up all the combos that I have to cover for this deck profile. Now we'll conclude for my very own deck building strategy and in-depth guide for the budget EmperorGreymon and Red Hybrid deck. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We got lots more deck profiles and videos coming up for BT7 as well as BT8 real soon, so definitely hit that subscribe button right now, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. Once again, if you guys want to see the video of how AncientGreymon is included, which has a completely different entire build, then definitely watch that video as well. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is AVAULT signing